Welcome to Toffee TV, live at 5, on the dot. There you go, smashing it. I mean,
That's it now. That's it.
that's it. You know what I mean? We're going to be here. Well, no, let's not say it.
Well, we'll try to be here at 5
Yeah,
on the dot.
Of course we will. Of course we will.
Flying now. Things are progressing.
Gary Ward says Hardy. Waving emoji, siren emoji. Alex Stevens says, "Good afternoon, lads. I just had 2 quick questions, and then hasn't asked the questions, so
She's waiting.
you probably need to ask the question." Alex asked the questions. Ask away.
He's waiting.
Steve Kelly says, "All right, lads. Hope you're both well. Thanks for having me yesterday. Do you think the club will come out and defend their player in relation to the article done today about Richarlison? We are at effing shambles."
Nope. I suppose the only way the club will even respond to it is if he's asked in a press conference on Thursday about it, and then he'll say he'll defend him. The club won't actively look to deal with that.
Highlight it.
What I'd do, I said this to Pep before, I'd just ban Paul Joyce now. Just say, go away.
For life.
No more little stories. Don't concentrate on the other crowd with their divers, which Manny dives every week, got booked at the weekend. I haven't seen anything written about him by Joyce. Go and bomb him now. Take him out the equation. Because he writes shite anyway, let's be honest. The only reason anyone even tolerates him is because Ken Wright gives him stuff. Well, Ken Wright needs to grow a pair of balls now and cut him out. Just say, no, you're done now. You're going to write shite about us, you'll get treated like shite.
There you go.
That's how I'll deal with it.
Problem with Everton is you don't get ahead of these stories, so they won't react to that now. What's the point? You're just creating. They just think, well, why would we?
Yeah.
Why would we basically reply to an article? Whereas, and I tweeted about it before, this is what Everton are really bad at. We did the Premier League show before, it'll be out tomorrow. And there's a couple of really good chats in it. One about Everton and one about like Jamie Vardy. But it's a really, really good chat about Jamie Vardy. But what we're saying is like Everton would rather just go, no, nothing to see here, than go, why is Richarlison being kicked off the pitch? Now, we don't help ourselves because I tweeted that. And I've seen there's loads of Blues going, well, he is a diver. Well, you know what? Richarlison doesn't help himself, but the manager's not going to come out and say, oh, Richarlison needs to stay on his feet, when we should have had a penalty when Richarlison was upended, and we should have had a penalty last week when he was dragged down. What our manager should be saying, as far as I'm concerned, is Richarlison's getting no protection, and because he gets no protection, there might be times when he overdoes it a little bit because he's not getting fouls that he should be, and spin it on its head. Don't say we're not getting fouls because Richarlison's a diver. Say Richarlison's is having to throw himself, maybe just do a little bit extra because he ain't getting fouls. But we don't. We let it sit, and then Paul Joyce, you should be, as Baz just said, should be doing an article on why Mane's thrown himself to the ground every 5 minutes and got booked for it on Saturday. Why is he not doing an article on him? Why is he not doing an article on Mane's disgrace in Liverpool because he's diving every 5 minutes?
Because it's his team.
Well, and it also, yeah, because it suits his agenda. Yeah. So, but we've allowed that agenda to be open. What Joyce should be writing now is, are Everton right about what they say about Richarlison? Are Everton harshly treated? Is Richarlison having to do these things because Everton aren't getting decisions?
Yes.
Well, that's the answer.
But
how many penalties have we had this season?
Have we had one?
In the Premier League, I don't think we've had one. In the Cup, we've had one.
Have we?
Yeah, we had one against...
Oh, we got one at Lincoln, didn't we? That was it, yeah.
But I don't think we've had one in the Premier League. So...
I can't think of one.
And we don't leave missed it anyway. No, I don't think we have. Not in the Premier League.
There you go.
Yeah, our son, who's just messaged me here.
Son's just messaged you?
Son, my son.
Tell him to do one.
Kane's just sent us a message on WhatsApp. And he said Son is that distraught about Gomez that he's travelled to Serbia.
Yeah. Gone to Serbia to play.
And I imagine he'll play.
Well,
I hope he scores and he's got a big smiley face on him. And everyone can see
I'm amazed Tottenham didn't let Kay Bailey interview him yesterday. See the sadness
there
in
was
his eyes.
sadness in his
eyes.
In his eyes.
See how he got on. Yeah, nonsense, but what
Yeah.
can you do?
No.
He was always going to play, wasn't he? They'll say, well, he's not banned from this, and
Yeah.
he's our player, and the best thing for him to do is
Oh,
get out
should
and
play.
play
Should
and
be
get
playing.
over it and all that.
Dave Wild says, "Hi lads, is my watch slow?"
No.
I don't know, is it?
Well,
Is
like,
it
I
slow?
mean, yeah, we can't
I mean, I
actually
don't know,
say.
do I?
We're not with you, Dave. It's not like you're going, hey lads, it's only 20 to 5. Really, it's 17:06. We don't know, Dave. If your watch says 17:06, then your watch isn't slow, Dave. There's your answer.
Yeah. Don't base. I mean, the moment you start basing that man-made commodity time on us, you've got issues. I mean, if you, I'm not being funny. If you ever, if anyone ever bases time off me, right, then you've got issues because I don't do time. I just don't.
No.
Unless it's match kick-off to a
You're
cinema.
time fluid.
I
Aren't you? You're
am
literally
fully
time fluid.
time fluid, and you can't say nothing because if you do,
Then you're going against it.
it's harassment.
Dan Martin said, I seen yesterday all the players had a team bonding night. Don't know whether it's a regular thing or just a
Where
one-off.
did they go?
Don't know.
Oh, that's what
Dan
I'm
didn't say.
Where did they go? Tell us, Dan. Tell us more.
Tell us more, Dan. What do you know?
Mark Zobel says patron player ratings results versus Spurs. Davis and Mina joint best 7.3 ratings. I give them both the same, I believe. Iwobi lowest rating at
That's
5.2. Davis won man of the match with 50% of the vote. Mina second, Tosin third. You guys agree or disagree?
I
Iwobi?
don't think Iwobi should have been that low. I think people just say Iwobi's crap when he isn't, because for some reason it seems like
Delph was
there's
worse than Iwobi.
Delph was horrific. It seems like there's an agenda against Iwobi, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. Delph was hideous. Gomez wasn't very good either. I think Luca Dean got man of the match in a few things, and I absolutely love.
Son has won his appeal on the red card, by the way.
Fair play. I'm not really asked. Just not. It's, after Sunday with VAR, the Premier League have shown what they think of Everton. So that to me doesn't surprise me in the slightest. And Everton will still sit on their hands over the whole thing.
Absolutely incredible.
But there you go. But yeah, just on the ratings, yeah, Luca Dean, who I love, was poor, I thought, and yet someone give him man of the match. So there you go. What can you do?
What a joke.
You're shocked, aren't you? I'm not shocked.
What a joke.
I'm
No,
not
I'm just.
I'm disgusted with
40,
Tottenham.
mate. 40.
I'm disgusted with Tottenham more than anyone else. They shouldn't have even had the arse to appeal that. But that's Pochettino for you.
It's on its arse, mate. It's on its absolute arse. Steve Kelly says, would you carry on playing with Charlison down the middle, or do you think with the injuries, he has to be switched back to the left or right? To me, Richarlison playing up top, it just shows the lack of faith he has in other strikers.
I've just said to you, haven't I, that I think on Saturday he'll go. I think Tosin will play through the middle. I think Richarlison will go on the left and Walcott will be on the right. That's what I think his front three will be. Because I think he was talking about Tosin after the game.
Yeah.
Although he did say Tosin's better and he's right, is better coming into the game.
Yeah.
Basically when people are tired and not
Coming
as
off the
quick.
bench.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
He might play Richarlison wide left to give Dominic Calvert-Lewin a go through the middle. Look, Moise Keane.
I'd have Iwobi in midfield, in the centre midfield, which opens up a space on the left. Now someone's got to take that, whether it be Richarlison, whether it be Anthony Gordon not long term, because Bernard's not obviously out as long as other people are, but I think he said Richarlison can play anywhere across the front three, so he's got to have a little think about it, hasn't he, and see what's best for the team. Alex Stevens says, good afternoon lads, what are your thoughts on Spurs trying to appeal a red card? Well, not only they've appealed it, Alex, they've won, which
I'm disgusted with them, to be honest with you, Alex, but they've lost class over the years anyway with Levy, so it doesn't surprise me. They used to be a bit of a classy club, Tottenham, but they're not anymore. And this, to me, just reiterates it. Shithouse club.
Listen, as far as... What I would say is, right, Alex has said, normally I wouldn't have a problem with teams trying to have all their best players available, but considering the circumstances of Gomez's terrible injury, I feel like it's a slap in the face to Everton and Gomez, especially after the sport our players showed, Son, rightly or wrongly. And the fact that we have lost one of our best players on his day, who knows how long, just don't understand how they can't just take the punishment and Son miss a game or two, since Gomez will miss at least 30 plus. Also, the narrative has been more about the well-being of Son than the well-being of Gomez, which is shambolic. What I would say, right, is I think someone made a point, and I can't remember who it was, and I apologise because I can't remember. Someone said on Twitter, I don't mind Coleman going in to see Son, but I wish he'd waited till all the journalists had left the stadium. And what he was saying was, the minute Coleman walked into that dressing room and the journalists knew at the ground, that suddenly created and started the narrative rolling that somehow Son was a victim of what had happened as well. And Everton played their part in that. Whereas if it'd gone in and hadn't been reported, then all of this stuff about, and this narrative, and it is a narrative, by the way, and this is what we're talking about, PR. This is what PR companies do and clubs with PR. What they do is they take a situation that may not help suit them or might work against them, and they turn it on their head. It's what politicians are doing all the time. They take a situation. It's like so the Tories have stopped fracking, and they've also lowered the thing down, the terrorist thing, right? Yeah. So just before an election that says, oh, we're not fracking anymore, so we're listening to you. And actually the country's a lot safer under us, so, vote for us. That's just PR spin. And all Tottenham have done is the same thing. They've put stories out to journalists clearly saying, Son's very upset about this. We're having to have meetings and get round them, and this is terrible and all that kind of thing. And they've created sympathy for Son, which is utter bollocks. But you know what? Well played, Spurs. Well played them for doing that. We don't do stuff like that. We don't do it. We're just stupid as a football club. They've created sympathy for their player, and now he's got off with it. But on the flip side, what I would say is, right, if you think... does Son being suspended, or if he was suspended, does that help Everton? No. But so what I'm going to say is, he got sent off on Sunday, right? Rightly or wrongly, it doesn't matter. It benefited us on Sunday. They went down to 10 men and we scored. So it doesn't really matter what happens from now on. Yes, we look at it and go, well, it's a disgrace, blah, blah, blah. But if you think about it the other way, whether it was right or wrong, he got sent off. We got a point out of the game. We never got beat. So it benefited on Sunday. So let's just thank, what would you rather have? Would you rather have that he only got a yellow card on, and I know you can't appeal yellow cards, but then someone else afterwards went, you're getting an 8-match ban for that. How would that benefit Everton? You got sent off on the day.
Yeah, but it just feels like there's no punishment.
I absolutely agree with you.
Caused the player to miss a year of football.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, though, in terms of Everton and picking up points, it benefited us on Sunday. So they've done what they've done. I imagine he'll play for Tottenham in the Champions League. And there you go. And we'll see what the real face of him is. We'll see if he's really arsed.
Well, he isn't, obviously, because if you had anything about you, you'd be saying to Tottenham, don't appeal it. If you were him, you'd say, don't appeal it, leave it. Because after the international break, it's gone. It's a few weeks then. You've
got ex-players going, oh, he'll probably won't bother appealing because he'll need that time off. Do me a favour.
Well, the ex-players have got him out the shit.
Yeah.
Because the ex-players have spun a narrative that it was an accident and he shouldn't have been sent off. So on Sky ran it, and Kevin Nolan, by the way, who ended Anita's Everton career with a horrific tackle. And Lee Bowyer, who's kicked people in the head and just shite footballer, looks about fucking 9 million. Allowed to say, because some dolly birds got them on the thing. Fucking nonsense.
Kane says, lads, what would happen if VAR decided to overturn Richarlison's penalty on Sunday? Would Atkinson have to stop the game in the middle of the play, or would he have had to wait till the ball went out? He would have had to have waited till the ball went out, I think, Kane.
Ball did go out.
No, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to wait. You're supposed to have to wait for the ball to go out to play for a VAR decision. The game's got to stop, essentially. So, yeah. Simon Rouse, apparently Son's red card has been overturned. Yeah, it has. Steve Donahue, wow, that's unbelievable out some. There was a clear intent there, so someone has made Gomez fall. Who was it then? Yeah. Steve Kelly, is it win or bust for Marco on Saturday, lads?
Well, it is, yeah, but I don't
For the
know.
fourth time.
But I don't know if it is. It is for me. But I'm not making a decision. So I don't know, Steve, is the real answer. Who knows with this club?
Yeah.
That's the reality. I'm very interested now to see what happens in the next couple of days with the club. If they don't respond to the Sun thing or the Paul Joyce thing, then they're an embarrassment.
They're weak. I said this over the weekend. We're a weak football club. We've had no leadership. There is no leadership at the football club. It is rudderless. There's no one at the top talking. Brands is not talking. The manager's not talking. The captain goes in and gives the fella who broke one of our players' legs a big hug. There is no leadership at this football club. And to me, that only signs one thing, and that's only going to put us in one place, and that is in the lower part of the table. Simple as that. Derek Hilton says, good evening, lads. I can't believe the media all about the red card appeal. Nothing about the mindset of Gomez as he looks forward. I'm losing faith. We're our own club on this. Heard nothing from the first team or back room coming out to say we intend to make Gomez proud. We were determined to put the season right behind him. Do you know what, Derek? I'd even put that on the fans. Because at the end of the game on Sunday, Everton fans should have been cheering Andre Gomez's name and we weren't. And shame on us for that. Shame on us for not cheering, singing his name at the end of the game. So I would put that on us as fans as well. But as I just said, we're just weak. We're a weak football club. We let clubs walk all over us. We let the FA walk all over us. We don't have a spine. You know, it doesn't. I don't take pleasure out of saying that. It's just. It's gone too far now on this, as far as I'm concerned. Not one person at the club has come out and said, what about the player? What about Andre Gomez? What about what Son did? And the only people who seem to be saying it are like, Andy, Shaka Hislop said something, didn't he, on his show on ESPN, what he does. Adrian Durham said it, but people come out and go, oh, Adrian Durham's just sensationalising everything. He does, and maybe it's like, unfortunately for him, that's just the way it is. But as Everton are concerned, who are the people who back us in the media? Who are our people in the media? Even if it's at local media level, where's the people shouting for us? Where's the people backing us in the corner? Where's people like, I don't know, like people like Tony Bellew coming out and going, that's a disgrace? Because people latch onto that kind of thing and go, oh, you know, if someone like Tony Bellew comes out and kicks off, someone will write a piece on that. You know what it's like now? People only have to tweet something and someone will write a piece about it. Where are the people standing up for Everton in this? Certainly no one at the club is standing up for us. Not standing up for Richarlison, not standing up for Andre Gomez. You might think Richarlison's a diver, he brings it on himself. That's not how the club is supposed to view it. The club is supposed to look at it and go, we've got to protect our player. You looked at Richarlison, who's won on Sunday where he got brought down. I think it was the penalty. And he just lay on the floor. He just lay on the floor. He was just like, he couldn't believe it. The game carried on and he was just like, what's the point? What's the point?
I've got no issue with people calling Richarlison a diver if it's happening right the way across the board. If everyone's getting treated the same, no issue. But Mane dives every week for Liverpool, so does Salah every single week without fail. And they get more penalties than anyone with dives, with clear dives. Now,
I'm sick of them, man. I'm going to destroy them tomorrow. I've just decided on the radio.
It happened at the weekend and Mane got booked. But that still won't stop them getting a pen against City at the weekend when Salah throws his arms up and goes down. So he can't go, well, Richarlison's a dickhead, but he always throws himself to the floor. He's doing it because he's being kicked everywhere. With other players, James Maddison, you breathe on him, he spins 46 times on the floor. It's a nonsense, nothing gets said about it. So, nah, sorry. I'm not going with it no more.
Steve Kelly, he says, how dangerous is it that we're giving a manager a game-by-game basis in relation to results? The thing is, we don't know if we are, Steve, do we? That's the thing, isn't it?
It doesn't really matter, Steve. We can't do nothing about it. So it's irrelevant. No one's out. Listen, the chairman, I don't know whether Mashiri was there Sunday, but the chairman was there. crowd.
But the problem is,
crowd and done nothing.
the chairman
So
wouldn't say
it's a horrible mess, isn't it? Because we don't know anything. As far as I'm concerned, Everton are giving Marco Silva till the end of the season. And that's the way I'm looking at it. Now, if we get beat at the weekend, questions have to be asked, but no one's asking the board anything.
No one's asking the questions.
So, what can you do? We can sit here and surmise, and you can sit there and be frustrated, and you can, you know, want change and all that, but the reality is you're probably just banging your head against the brick wall, because I don't think, until someone actually questions the motives of Farhad Moshiri and what he wants for Everton Football Club, then we don't know. Because far as I'm concerned now, he just wants us to stay up and go to Bramley Moore. Because he hasn't done anything in the last 6 months that have proven to me any difference. I haven't heard a word from him. And we're third, fourth from bottom with 11 games. There's been nothing from him at all. So, where's the desire for Everton to get in the Champions League? Where's the desire for Everton to be at the right end of the table? I don't know. And so that's why I look and just go, well, maybe they just decided to give Silva till the end of the season, come what may. That might be.
Will we, mate?
Well, yeah. But it might be dangerous, because we might end up going down, or it might be sound because we might win games and finish in the top 6, 7, 8. Don't know. It's, you know, when the press aren't even writing the game, are they? They done 1 a week, and then that was it. We beat West Ham, so it was like, oh, it's sounding. Yeah.
So. Harry says, can we really criticise Spurs for appealing it when it was what was us, our fans would be calling the club too soft if they didn't appeal it? I mean, it's a valid point, Harry. I don't think what I'd say, Harry, is I'm not. Spurs have got every right to appeal it, but it's just ironic, isn't it, that they're coming out with all these things about how broken-hearted Son is, and yet, you know, they want to appeal it. In other words, it wasn't that bad. He didn't actually do anything. So, you're right. We want our club to appeal, wouldn't we? Anything.
I don't know. So I think sometimes
it's a very emotive
you've got
one.
to show a little bit of
Class.
A bit of class, and that isn't any class as far as I'm concerned.
Kane says, how the fuck has this been overturned? I'm finished with Everton. Brought it on ourselves with Coleman. Can't believe that can't believe that. Finished with football. Fuming. Kane's fuming.
Kane, it's like I said the other day, mate, it's rigged. The whole thing is rigged. Tottenham are a lovies club.
Yeah.
They're the media's club, like Liverpool and like City, like Liverpool, like United. They're not. A lot of the writers are Spurs fans. Everything's peddled. You've seen what's happened since the Gomez injury. If you didn't know what had happened, you'd think Son had broke his leg, not Gomez. That's what you would think if you just looked at why is Son's name everywhere? Why is he getting counselling? Why is this? Why is that? It's embarrassing. The whole thing is rigged, and this to me is just the final confirmation I needed. The whole thing is rigged, mate. It's not even, you know, you'd have to just go, well, there you go. You know, Everton will win games when they decide that they have a meeting and go, we need to let Everton win this week, and we'll be allowed to win a football match. And that's how it's that bad, and people can laugh and go, don't be ridiculous. It is that. How else are Liverpool unbeaten this season? How else have they got penalties at the end of games? How else have they had things turned over? It's all fixed, mate. So don't get wound up about it. No point. There's no point.
Owen says, Spurs have no class asking for the suspension and all that, but they're going to do that. It's the football establishment that are the disgrace. Horrible people. As Baz has just been saying. Richie Rowland says, confirmed by news outlets that the red has been overturned. Dave Wild says, after 11 games, we still haven't got enough points for a driving ban. We've had dismal record on the South Coast. What does your head, not your heart, say the result will be on Saturday? Well, my head says having, knowing what Everton are like and knowing the fact that Southampton haven't won a game for 4 months at home or whatever it is, and lost their last home game 9-0, is that they'll probably comfortably beat us. Is that they'll turn up with fire in their bellies because they have been beaten 9-0 and they've got something to prove to their fans. And they did have a decent performance against Man City at the weekend where they only just got beat. See, this is the point about Everton. I'm not even sure we're at our lowest point yet. That's what I'm worried about, because I watch our players and I just watch them and see them run around a little bit. Southampton have had their lowest points. Getting beaten 9-0 at home, it's a record. Biggest ever home defeat in football history in this country. They've had their lowest point. So they'll be on the up. They're the same as last season when we went down there. They'd lost a few games and they'd had their lowest point and they had to go against us and they beat us 2-1. And it was just too easy. It was absolutely too easy. And unfortunately, this is the same Everton we see all the time. We never get to that lowest point. Or, maybe we did a couple of years ago, but I expect us to go down there and just roll over and have our bellies tickled. And that's the problem. That's what I think if there's anyone else who doesn't feel that, then I'd be massively surprised. Because they've had their low point. They're going to try and bounce back. They're not feeling sorry for themselves because they just had 2 games against Man City. So it's all about attitude Saturday, and will we have the right attitude or will we be feeling sorry for ourselves because of what's happened to us? I don't know. We'll see on Saturday. I'm hoping what happened on Sunday and getting the late goal could be the catalyst, could be the turning point in our season. That doesn't come from playing football. That comes from starting to get in and hit people and do all the horrible things. But until we're prepared to do that, we're not going to win an away game. There you go. And Dave says his watch is correct. Yeah, he said he expected us at 5:15. Kane says won't see any journalists ask about Son now after he's been overturned. No, they'll all be saying it. Derek Hilton says you're right, Ped. We are a library. Grant Ferguson says, lads, I give up on football. It's a farce now. The FA is corrupt. Might as well have Sepp Blatter in charge of it. We might as well.
That's how it feels.
We get hot pants at least. Stephen Kelly says, Phil McNulty has just responded to Paul Joyce's tweet with this. Agree with every word of this. Richarlison is a real talent, currently damage Everton and himself with the habit of going dramatically to the ground under the slightest contact. Time for Marco Silva to bring him to account. There you go, 2 journalists, 2 national journalists, and what are they talking about? Richarlison diving in the same game with one of our players had his fucking ankle blown off and a little runs kicked them up in the air, and they're talking about Richarlison. Narrative.
Are they talking about Mane? That's all.
Narrative. Absolutely unbelievable. Oh my God. Steve Donahue says you and Baz stand up for Everton media-wise and as supporters, so keep it up going. I feel like this is the tipping point for our club. I feel like tipping our club up and giving it a shake and finding out who... honest to God. David Collins, no one in the press will ask a difficult question. There's only 2 journalists in the pre- and post-match interviews. Is there only 2? Yeah, there is, effectively. No, there's a room full of people, but only Sky get the mic and someone else.
Yeah.
A tackle from behind and endangering players a red card. FA rules wankers. Simon Rouse, all the time this weekend has left a sour taste in my mouth. It's so bad it makes you question the system that seems to be against us. I agree with you saying Silva standing up and slating the decisions. It would be a breath of fresh air and we'll go some way to get it in with the fans. And Owen says, I honestly don't see how you can defend his position if we get beat on Saturday. Owen, I can't defend his position now, mate. I haven't defended his position for a long time. I just can't be asked going on about it. You know my feelings about it. And you know my feelings about who I want to be the successor, but what's the point? What's the point?
Cumbrian Toffee says, I think I preferred watching us when we were skint. Agreed.
Yeah, we had a soul. We had a soul when we were skint.
At least we knew where we were. Phil McBoob says, stuck record, same problems, issues you brought up years ago before you started Toffee TV. It's not good though, Phil, is it? Not good to be in that position where nothing changes, no matter what you do. But nothing's changed because nothing's changed at the top, really. That's the reality. promote from within. That's the problem,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's all feeling very, don't know, I feel a little bit resigned with it at the moment. I just think it's just all a bit crap. So I don't see any way how it changes, to be honest, at the moment. But Machiri, this is off Paul Thornton, Machiri might have gone to Mourinho, Benitez, Allegri, and all of them turned us down. If that was the case, who should we go for or gamble with Silva? You can answer that.
He hasn't, though, has he? He hasn't been
No,
to.
no,
He hasn't
maybe.
been to half of those managers. Maybe he's had a little discussion with Mourinho. I don't know, but I know he hasn't gone to any of those managers. I don't know.
Moyes,
Moyes would probably be the only one.
until the summer, if they decided Silva wasn't the right man. Is Silva the right man? 11 points from 11 games isn't certainly doesn't say he's the right man at the moment. Barry Stevens says, on a positive note, do you think Dennis Adeniran might get a look in the first team now Gomez is out? Well, he might have to look at Adeniran or Bellingham, he mightn't he? Well, he will have to. We've lost another central midfield player. Gabana's not going to be back. He's essentially left with Fabian Delph, who's got hamstrings like cheese strings, it seems like at the moment. And Davis and Schneiderlin. And that's it, isn't it? So if one of them gets injured, say Delph was holding his hamstring at the end of the game, if he's out at the weekend, then we've got two centre midfield players. So, you know, he's going to have Benny on the bench or or Adeniran on the bench. And those two may play tonight at Crew in the 21. So we'll have to see. Bellingham he might, because he's obviously 22, isn't he? But so it might be. But Adeniran probably will play, and maybe with Marcelo.
James says, couldn't agree more, lads. We need people like yourselves to keep fighting our corner, but as a fan base, we all need to do more. To be honest, as a fan base, I don't really know what we can do, though, because as a fan base, we don't get listened to by our own club, never mind anyone else. Our own club don't listen to us. They're great when it comes to like little initiatives that shine a light on whether it's the Everton community or brilliant that they've put money into, you know, the local football and all that kind of thing. That's all brilliant. But we're just soft. We're a soft club. Ask Kane what they're doing to the lads who are trying to build the singing section in the corner. Ask him how they've treated them. We've got a club, sadly, and it absolutely kills me to say this, we've got a club run by people who don't care about the fans because they're not fans.
I don't think they care about the club.
Yeah, that's
well,
we are the club, though.
Arse cover and exercise.
We are the club.
That's all
we have people who just simply don't care about the club. It's as simple as that. They're not. People are not Everton.
And there'll be people in positions in the club who want to do things, and they just get knocked back by people who aren't really that arsed about Everton. They're not Evertonians for a start. So why would they be bothered about making us better? I'm fighting for stuff. It
goes back to, there's so many, the dickhead who designed that stupid Fisher Price badge, he was a red. And he started fuming when the fans turned on that, because we all hated it. He had a big cob on, or some internal dickhead who thought it was a great badge, which it wasn't. Although we were good when we wore it. You know, the people at the club just simply don't care. Oh, you know, the chairman, she's not an Evertonian. Denise Barrett-Baxter is not an Evertonian. Not having that for a minute. Not having it for a minute. Bills are blue, yeah, but he's just too over sentimental to the point that he can't make tough decisions that affect people at the club. He just can't. It's just like, he can't. We've seen that with when we had Martinez, and he's giving him the big hug going, and we've got the best manager going here, and the other fella's looking at him going, yeah, he's going to be able to do a job in 3 weeks, mate. I'm going to sack him as soon as I get a chance. I'm going to sack him as soon as I get a chance. That's our problem. He's too sentimental, and Machiri's too far away, and there's nobody in the middle that is prepared. See, they've got the perfect one. They've got a guy who runs them, who is, well, the CEO who's a red, but understands the world, got all the connections in the world. The fella at the top just wants to make money. But he realised that he's making money out of Liverpool Football Club, and that means success. That means success. You invest in the stadium, the facilities, the team, you'll get success, and that will make money. Simple as that. And if you're not successful, you don't make money. It's simple as that, especially for a club like Everton. And we have too many people in too many positions who just don't understand. Some people might call themselves Evertonians, and as Baz said there, unfortunately, their voices are drowned out by people who are not Evertonians that go, no, this is the right way to do it. Respect, man, no, all this respect and class that Everton are supposed to be brilliant at. Where has it gotten us? Where has any of it gotten us? It's got us nowhere. It gets people just walking over us and laughing at us, because that's all we are now. We're just a laughing stock. So when people say to you, why do you even play? You might as well go down. What's the point of Everton? You haven't done anything for 25 years. You haven't won anything. You haven't been relegated. You haven't been promoted. You haven't given your fans anything. And you know, it's hard to argue with that, isn't it? We just exist.
I can argue with not going down.
No, I can. We just exist.
Yeah.
We just exist.
Shite. We're nothing.
We just exist. And the people at the club seem to be very, very happy with that. And at the moment, we'll be fine as soon as we get in the stadium. It'll be fine. But the mad thing about that is, if that's your motive, if that's your narrative, if that's what you want, you're not exactly backing it up either, are you? Because we're like, you know, if a band comes to Everton now and they go, yeah, we'll give you all this money, but are you going to be in the Premier League this time next year? And he'll go, yeah, of course we will. Yeah, but hang on, this happened 2 years ago. And the last year before that, you weren't that good. Yeah, but we always have a really good second half of the season. Yeah, mate, I can't give you £600 million based on you having a good second half of the season. You've got to, you know, that could easily happen.
This is what makes me laugh when people go on about our pre-season now, or go on about our kit deals, or go on about the thing. You can't build anything or plan anything until you're stable. And this is why I don't understand what's going on with Moshiri. But Phil McBooth says, you know what, the club doesn't reflect the fans in the area. I'm from Leeds, and every time we played a team from Liverpool or Merseyside, it was a battle, a fucking hard battle. This team, this Everton board and this club do not want to fight for anything. And he's absolutely, Phil, you're absolutely right. It just seems like we just go, yeah, it's too much effort to do that. Let's just bob along and see where it takes us. But Tony Miguel, man with two first names, like, who's our other one? Sean last week was, come on, he said his missus loves the fact we call him a man with two names. But
There you go. I mean,
Tony Miguel's got two first names.
well, he has. And one of them is
great. One of them,
foreign sounding.
he's like, he's class.
The man with two first
Two
names.
different names as well.
Tony Miguel.
Tony Miguel. It says, hi, this is why social media has been such an information revolution, an alternate option for news and info, so thanks for keeping it going. Cumbrian Trophy says, I completely understand your point on the media with Richarlison, but I thought it was embarrassing from him on Sunday. Maybe I've watched too much of the Rugby World Cup and need to recalibrate my tolerance to diving.
No, listen. I personally am not saying I like what Richarlison does. And I was sitting at the match myself saying he'll never get a foul because he's thrown himself to the ground. I am not saying that it's good what he does. I think it is embarrassing at times. The problem is now it's a national story that it's embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. It's a national story, whereas the manager had a chance to get in front of the story and say he's thrown himself to the ground because he never gets anything. He never gets anything. When we've seen him kicked around loads of times, we know he throws himself on the ground easy.
He was kicked on Sunday.
But that
He was
doesn't...
kicked off the park on Sunday.
But that doesn't...
But he did throw... He was embarrassing as well, as the same.
Exactly.
But soft shite does across the park and gets penalties for it. So you can't call... What I don't like is the fact that it comes out as Richarlison's a diver, but everyone else is just let off.
Yeah.
Mane's let off. Oh, you know, Matt fucking Salah. You know, it's just all fucking nonsense. Salah, arms up, any touch, the arms are back, and that's all right. But Richarlison is a diver, we don't like that. It's nonsense. They're either all divers or none of them are divers. So don't tar Richarlison and ignore the other stuff.
The lad who got the penalty for Brighton last week, that's a dive.
Hell. It's the worst dive I've ever
Jumps
seen.
up in the air.
Didn't even get touched, the little
What a fucking sun on Sunday. He clearly dived. He clearly dived.
VAR looked at it.
He dived. And if he's been booked right then, if
He
he'd
wouldn't
been
have put a
booked right,
tackle in, yeah.
fucking does my head in.
Nonsense.
David Collins says, if Superman can be resurrected, can we get Catterick into the pond? Okay. Dave Wild says, I wonder if a certain Russian benefactor should be putting pressure on Mashiri
100%.
to change things in the managerial hot seat.
We should be putting fucking pressure on Mashiri anyway. Should be saying, listen, mate, step aside now. If you either do it or step aside.
Lucas says, honestly, not time to take the piss, but do you guys think we will go down?
No.
I think we'll spend a lot of this season in the bottom half of the table. Put it that way.
It depends what happens, mate. It's the reality, isn't it? Everton could change the manager and they could win every game. Could change the manager and we could lose every game. It just depends. Ability-wise, they're good enough to still get in Europe. Will they put anything more than one win on the run together? At the moment, no. Doesn't look like they can.
Gary Ward says if it was an Everton player that had broken a Spurs player's ankle, there would have been a worldwide lynching party, no matter how distraught about it. David Collins says we're wrong that no one listens, thousands of Reds do. Very true. Derek Holton, looking at Everton.com, top story says it all. Everton in the community, mascot packages available. Everton in the community again. Yes, we do great work in the community, but Everton FC is the first 11 and everything else follows. We seem to have lost. We seem lost. Are we a charity or are we a football club?
Well, he's a CEO.
There you go. Dave Wild, will you be getting John Blaine anytime soon to see what him and the shareholders association think, and if we have had any feedback from the club in the current situation? Yeah, we'll get. He might be about tomorrow. And Simon Rouse says we need to bring a lift to the club. The only thing I can think of is that gets someone like Jose and Benitez in. It's very doom and gloom at the moment.
It is. Paul Thornton says, would it be better to revert to a 4-4-2 using Tosun, McKean or DCL, possibly Davis and Siggy in the middle? You couldn't just have Davis and Sigurdsson in the middle of midfield.
No, that'd be wide.
Davis would be sound, but Sigurdsson, no. And Barry Stevens says, no Brazilian Evertonian who attends a few games a season. He says, in Brazil, you're taught to fall under any contact to win free kicks. It's actually considered a skill. Well, yeah, we see that. Listen, I see that. I've seen Firmino do it. I've seen Coutinho do it. I've seen, obviously Richarlison do it. But Bernard doesn't go down as easy as Richarlison. So it can't all just be that. And like I said, I don't mind him going down. Sometimes he should stay on his feet. He doesn't help himself. But regardless, if he dives 9 times in a game but gets clattered on the 10th is still a foul. You can't go, well, you've dived 9, so you're not having that even though it's a foul. Because that doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense. It's either a foul or it isn't a foul. And that's the top and bottom of it. End of story. Mark Cumbrian Toffee says, would it not be better if the manager told Richarlison to stay on his feet? He might do. Manager might tell him to stay on his feet, but it depends about the game.
I fully understand where you're coming from, right? But that's not the narrative, is it? We shouldn't be saying that. What the manager's not going to come out. What I'm saying is there's now a national story that is making one of our players a diver, right? And yet he should have got 2 penalties in the last 2 games. The manager's not going to come out in public and say, I've told the lad to stop. He should have got ahead of this on Sunday and said, why aren't we getting penalties? Forget about where he falls all over the pitch. He should be saying, why are we not getting penalties when our players are fouled? Richarlison's been kicked off the pitch. Forget about all the other instances. He's been kicked off the pitch. Why aren't we looking after our own? Why have we got this attitude that we have a go at our players before we have a go at other players? One of their players has dived.
Our fans are mad.
One of their players has dived and then fucking broke one of our players' ankles. And yet, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we've got this. Why we have this thing about ourselves. Oh, we're the classy ones. Fuck being the classy ones. It's time to be winners and not shit-housers. I'm sick of it. It comes from the top. And now it's clearly in the fans. Because, we should tell them to stop diving. Fucking dive all day, you little cunts. But stop fucking moaning. Or not moaning even. Put my head in. Honestly, it bursts my head.
I don't understand our fans. I
just don't understand our club.
No, but our fans will look at us first. It's berserk. Every other fan, and this is what's happened with Spurs. they've all took Son's side, and yet Evertonians are fucking protecting Son and having a go at Richarlison. The Son, the diving little bastard, fucking dived in our box,
Apologies
and
if
then
you're
has
watching with
broken,
children.
and then apologies, has then broken one of our players' legs or been the cause of it, and yet people are saying Richarlison shouldn't be diving. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's like that thing where we'd rather self-harm than do anything else. So, you know, we'll have a go at ourselves rather than anybody else. It's nonsense, and that's slipped into the fans. I don't know where it's come from. About protecting your own. I don't know. We don't protect our own, though, but we'll have a go at the manager. Don't mind. We don't mind kicking the manager. That's sound. Weird set of fans we've got. A portion of them.
I just think we've been completely dragged down by the whole thing, and honestly, I just can't get to grips with why this is allowed to happen. Why because we allow it to happen. Our football club allows these things to happen. They wouldn't have it. United wouldn't have it. City wouldn't have it. No.
None of their players racially abused Patrice Evra, and they all wore t-shirts defending. Everton had fucking knight
Everton would bring them out
and
hand them over.
And just go, it's there, and that player has had his contract cancelled, and you can have the 3 points, and our fans will pay you £100 each just to fucking get a new set of wallpaper for your fucking manager's office or some shit.
I just honestly,
nonsense.
I just don't get it. I don't get it why we don't want to be a big club, because we act like little shit houses. We act, well, it's just terrible what's happened, but let's just go and give the guy a big hug. No. Wait, it comes from the top and it comes all the way into our players. I'm not being. I reckon if Delph had been in a City shirt, he would have been straight over. Seen Delph last year putting six studs into bleeding Dominic Carvin's Lewin's leg because he got a little bit angry. He comes to Everton, he turns into this little pussycat.
I think
the players on the pitch. Why didn't one of them run over straight to Son? Why isn't there enough anger in any of our players to see what's happened to one of our players and go, what the
Look at Barry Stevens. They compare how the West Ham fans turned on James McCarthy after his tackle on Payet. Dimitri Payet, McCarthy put a tackle in. He was out for 6 weeks or something, 4 weeks. Wasn't a good tackle, but he went for the ball, and he did catch him, to be fair. And the West Ham fans destroyed McCarthy for ages. We're blaming our own players for things. It's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And that's the problem, is that there's divisions all over the shop. We'd rather slag Tom Davis off or Alex Iwobi.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tom Davis wore a green tracksuit. Oh, get him out the club!
I can only think the Iwobi thing's racial. With some of our fans, honestly. The stick that he gets for nothing is bizarre. It just blows my mind. It's bizarre. And yet, they love Ghana. It's just mad. It's absolutely... I just don't get it. I don't get why we're all over the place as a fan base. I don't get why we're all over the place
as I say,
as a club.
It comes from the top. We've got no leadership. We've got nobody playing the tune for us to follow. So you've got the club does not. The club hasn't given us anything to follow. So therefore, as a fan base, we become split. We become split. They said, I've seen things saying the greatest thing Klopp ever did for Liverpool was bring them together. He brought them all together. We've not done that.
No. Well, we won't, will we, when we've got people leading us who don't have a clue how to lead? That's the problem for me.
I'm just, honestly, that article and Phil McNulty agreeing with it has pushed me over the edge. I honestly...
Why you ain't this angry before?
Honestly, it's pushed me over the edge because this is what happens. This is what happens. And then some other journalists that agree with them and some other journalists that agree with them. And suddenly, you're not talking about what happened on Sunday, the real thing that happened. You're not talking about Son diving. You're not talking about breaking out one of our players' legs. You're talking about things And then because you are talking about Richarlison diving, you're not talking about the fact that he should have had a nailed-on penalty. So when it comes to Southampton on Saturday and Richarlison goes down and it's not a nailed-on penalty, it's dived. This is, you know what I would say this is the equivalent to, and this is the equivalent of what I think happened to Sahar at Palace. I think this is what happened to him, is that when we played him, we seen him go down, it is annoying. But the problem is that, like last week, the minute he goes down and it's a legitimate penalty, he gets booked, and then the VAR turns it over, and now he's got a reputation. Well, now Richarlison's going to have a reputation because two top national journalists have just said he's a diver, and there follows what happens now. Instead of our club getting ahead of this stuff, and we're pathetic, we are pathetic, and it drives me mad. And this is why I fall out with the club quite a lot. Because of these things. And people go, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. All these things matter. They really do. Otherwise, why would people do it? Why would Arsene Wenger have said all those years ago, oh, Andy Johnson's a diver, watch him on Sunday or Saturday. So what happens? Every decision, oh, Andy Johnson's a diver now. Oh, he's a diver. Oh, he's a diver. It's what happens. It's what happens. It does, angry. Don't make me angry. What else is going on? I'm going to be mad on Radio City tomorrow, by the way. Oh my God. They might have to...
Barry Stevens says, I think it's fair to say that Gomez won't be nice when he's up against Son. Again, he's one of our only players with Snyder. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Gomez will make sure he leaves one on Son next time he plays. Mark says he calls out Manny and Salah on a regular basis. That shouldn't mean I can't call out one of our own.
Who calls them out?
No, he does himself.
Okay.
But that's fine, Mark, but we're not talking about that, are we? We're saying a lot of our fans do turn on Richarlison, but there's other people doing it as well, and they're getting away with it. And that's the thing. The point isn't about whether you think he's a diver or not. That's up to you. He was bugging me on Sunday, but he still should have had a Stonewall penalty, and he still should have had a Stonewall penalty the week before. And on Sunday, Davison Sanchez kicked shite out of him, and the referee didn't give him anything, hence why he then started going down, because he was getting the shite kicked out of him. If it had been me, I'd have turned around and smashed Davison Sanchez full in the face, mate, and been sent off. The way he kicked shite out of him, I'd have ended him. Trust me.
Listen,
nonsense.
Listen, Richarlison does my head in as well. So I'm not arguing with you about that. He does my head in as well. But I'm talking about more. I'm talking about how it affects players and how it affects the view of a player, right? So Pep Guardiola has questioned Mane, hasn't he? Said he's a diver, he dives, right? Klopp didn't get involved. Didn't even get involved. He just went, that's not about the match. I don't want to talk about that. So he hasn't said he's a diver or he's not a diver. He's just gone, well, it's nothing to do with me. He's got...
just what he's done is he's got his mates and now writes a story about a different diver.
You move away from the stuff. That's what he's done. What I'm saying is that it's fine to come on here and talk about Richarlison. We can talk about, you know, it's the old, like, you know, call my sister, you know, I can call my sister a knobber, but if you call her a knobber, I'll break your bleeding neck. You know what I mean? It's that, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's that, you know, keep it in the family, that's fine. But this is something more important than that. This is how other people look at our players. This is how our players are perceived and how you get a agenda against you. And that's what I'm saying. The club have got to be stronger and understand. You've got to get ahead of it and go, I bet you they say something like, Richarlison, did you think Richarlison didn't get the penalty because he'd thrown himself on the ground a couple of times? Get ahead of it. You create the narrative, otherwise other people will, and then you're always going to be behind the narrative. That's what I'm saying.
If he's got anything about him at the weekend, he'll get Andy Neil, who will probably be in with him, to get one of the journalists to ask him about Richarlison. And then he'll go off on a rant, he should do, and go, he's being disgustingly cheated by referees, and he won't say cheated, but he'll say treated horrifically by referees this season. He's been kicked, he's black and blue every game, he's had penalties that turn out. I want to know, as the manager, why he doesn't get penalties. It's disgusting.
What, Mark? Just
But
what?
he won't.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you, mate.
I'm not arguing.
No, I know. I'm not
point,
arguing with you, mate. I know
No.
this. I know what you're saying. It is embarrassing at times, and we've seen other players do it, and it is embarrassing, mate. And you should hold your own up to what you hold to other people. You should have standards. I'm not saying you shouldn't have standards, mate. I'm not by. You don't win by all means. That's not the point. Point. What I'm saying is that in football now, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares. No one's going to come out and go, yeah, man, he's a disgrace, man. Oh, you need to stop that. No one's going to do it. He's the worst. Salah, yeah, platoon, do me a favour, mate.
Touch.
Do me a favour. Their manager's never going to do it. No one else's manager. So why? Maybe as with us, here we go. That's annoying. Because you know why it's annoying for us? Because maybe if he hadn't have fallen over cheaply the other 5 times, maybe he gets the penalty. So that maybe that hits. And we said this on the. I said this on the final word, didn't I? Yesterday, I said if he starts understanding where to get the fouls, then he'll get them. So I am not disagreeing with you whatsoever. As in for us, what I'm saying is the club, like Baz has just said, you get someone to ask you about Richarlison. Some people have said Richarlison's a diver. No, he's not a diver. No, he's not a diver. Richarlison should have got penalties here. Who was it? Steve was saying yesterday, wasn't he? Like doing that, was it on the Tuesday?
Yeah, I know you said
that.
About
doing like the Bielsa PowerPoint thing of saying.
About all the things that have gone against us. Call them out.
Forget about what, it's what's gone against us. Forget about the one where he, threw himself. Show the one where he should have a penalty.
Phil McBoob says, do you know if the club pay any attention to fan media and fan social media? Depends what you want to. It depends if
definitely pay attention to
they pay attention to,
They have done in the past.
Barry Stevens said...
Do you know the club once threatened to sue me? Genuinely.
There you go.
Genuinely.
Barry Stevens says, didn't Moyes want to turn up at the FA with a video of how many times we've been skanked? We should be doing that again. You're right. And he sat down with whoever the head of the FA was at that time, the referees thing, and they both agreed. Well, he agreed there was 11 penalties, and he said there was 9 Stonewall penalties, and the other 2 should have been given as well. So essentially, Moyes presented 11 penalties to the FA, and all 11 should have been given. And with those 11 penalties, Everton would have been 3rd in the league. And
why do you think we never had Clattenburg for about 5 years?
7.
7. Why do you think we never had Atkinson for a few years?
We should have never had Atkinson again.
But that's the point. Why do you think these things happened? Say Clattenburg, because Moyes went straight to the FA. Went straight to the FA and he just said to him, you try that. You try letting him come to Goodison, mate, because we'll destroy him. We'll destroy him. Because all what have happened is, Moyes would have made it his mission in all the interviews to just destroy Clattenburg. He would have just said in the press conference, I know we're not going to get decisions today. Look who the manager is. He wasn't asked for taking fines. He couldn't care less. It was all about protecting. It was all about protecting the football club and protecting us. Towards the end, it became about protecting him. But he knew how to manipulate the media. He knew how to manipulate everything. And yet we're sitting here. I
want to say something in a minute about. Just let me answer these 2 first. First, Barry Stevens wants to know what he wanted to sue you for. Think about that, we'll come back to it. J-Mac said, first of all, about Gomez leaving one on Son. He'd leave one on Son, then Pickford would get beat on the free kick. On that side, in the free kick. And he said, J-Mac wants to know what manager we think would bring everyone together and stand up for the... Mourinho would, whether we can get him or not. We don't know. But what would Mourinho do? If that would have been Mourinho on Sunday, do you honestly think the narrative would be what it is now?
I honestly believe there's only 3 managers I think that would bring us together for different varying reasons and maybe different times. Mourinho, I think straight away, if we could get him, would just have everyone excited and he'd walk in and just be like, probably day one, just say, Richarlison's never dived in his life or something like that.
He'd just get everyone on side.
David Moyes, but I think it would take time. I don't think he'd have people on side on day one. I think it would take time. And it would obviously be what happened after the first few results. But I do think after a while, if things went his way, he would get everyone on side. And the other one is Arteta, I think, will get everyone on side. Because I just think that, and maybe not right now, but I think if he came in the summer, I think, and it's a fresh thing, and if he put good people around him, I think that would get a lot of people on side, because it might get everyone on side, because I don't know if you're ever going to get everyone on side. Everton's fan base is so has been just like literally
It's just fractured.
just fractured.
And it won't come back.
It won't
until
come
he
back
wins
straight
something.
away.
Won't come back till he wins something, I don't think.
I don't know if it will take something to win something. I just think he'll take pride. I genuinely believe it. Just take pride.
Maybe.
Just people just standing up for us as fans.
What I wanted to say about the
Go on.
manager, right, and this is not xenophobic in any way about Marco Silva, right? But I'm not sure he understands the need to kick off the way we want him to. Do you know what I mean? The way you just said it then, and it just reiterated what I was thinking before. We watched this whole press conference after the game before, didn't we? Not the one Everton do, the one with the journalists. We had it on before, didn't we? And he was all very nicey. Now, Moyes would storm in. Remember Moyes coming in and the fella went, I need to be, and he went, not answering the question about it, it's done.
Yeah.
And the fella went, let me just, and he said, I'm not answering it. And the fella asked it again, he got up and walked out. That was it, press conference was over. It was done. There was no arsing about. And I think Moyes understood the need, how to direct the narrative, like you say, how to direct, where to get people riled up. Klopp does it well. Pep does it in the fact that he's very... He makes them feel like they don't understand football, Guardiola, so they back away again from him.
Yeah.
But Mourinho is brilliant at it. He comes in and he gets across, he understands and he gets across exactly what he wants to say. Might not always be right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might not always be right, but if he wants to come in and go, our fans were shite today and they all got off, they were quiet and they didn't help us in any way, shape or form, he will say it. He'll say something that will make the crowd go, shit. Klopp did it with Liverpool, right? Moyes did it. Moyes took us on a few times as fans. He'd throw the fucking jacket down.
He brought Anachabi on and everyone booed. And Anachabi scored and he took his coat off to say, see, I know.
Yeah.
And when we were at Bolton in the FA Cup,
Dan Heitinger,
he brought Heitinger on, but by bringing Heitinger on, everyone was like, what do we do? We need another striker. Brought Heitinger on, pushed Fellaini up front, and Heitinger actually scored. But we started dominating the play because he pushed. And it was the same. He was just like, he didn't mind going, I fucking told you, didn't I? I told you. But you know what? That was like where you used to go, you almost like bowed down. You were like...
Well, you knew that he was in control.
Yeah.
That's why. And I think with Marco, he might be trying to carry this classy image of like, we just accept it as we're not happy. You know, he pointed at a journalist, which I haven't seen him do, a little bit of emotion. But I don't know whether he thinks I have to carry myself in this way and be respectful. We don't want that. I don't think we want that as fans. We want fire and passion. Everton don't want, and I've just seen J-Mac saying, get Martinez back. I don't want to lash me MacBook. Don't mention that fella's name to me again, please. I absolutely can't have him for a second, because we are where we are today because of him. He destroyed Moyes' foundations, destroyed them. Back to what I was saying. And I think that we need that. It's like when we pass the ball around 700 times at the back. We hate it as fans. Yeah. We fucking hate it. We liked it blood and thunder. The Everton fans Sunday would have enjoyed those last 2 or 3 minutes because it was a bit of intensity. We were tossing balls into the box. Luca Dean. Look at Goodison when Tosin headed it in. The arms, the limbs. It was a fucking draw against a shite team. But that's what we want, blood and thunder. That's what a lot of us were raised on. Yeah. And when it's passive and it's nice and it's this and it's that and it's, let's slowly pass it round. We don't like it. We get bored very easily. And I think we need someone who understands what we want, understands that the game in this country is, it's probably everywhere, but I'm only judging it from here. The game in this country, with how powerful our media is about directing what you want to direct. So you go into that. You've said it loads of times. Managers' press conference, they're not answering a journalist, are they? They're talking to us as fans. They don't give a shit if Delph's fit or not for Saturday. I want to know what you've done in training. Why
but the questions don't get asked though, because only same people in the media get asked. The media are not interested. They don't want to be there. It's their job. They're not interested. They could say, I did a press conference with Brendan Rodgers ages ago. Again, it was like not like a after match.
J-Mac, nice one, mate.
And it was all fans groups. It was Red member there. It was before I knew them. I was there for KCC. And he went, you know what? This is the best press conference I've ever done. He went, because no, it's not all boring questions. He said, you people know what you're talking about because you watch us every week. And you're not here to ask me who's injured and what you think about something that's happened somewhere else. You want to know about things in my club. And Klopp said the same.
He said to them,
he said, I watch you guys all the time. He said, I have no interest in media. He said, because they're trying to tell me how to do my job. He went, but you people pay your money and you watch us every week. And he said, so I want to sit down with you. And yet Everton are very, very happy and comfortable with journalists coming from rags like the Mail, and people calling them all kinds, and yet every week they welcome them in with open arms. You know, sit down, Vinny, ask them all the questions you want.
Yeah.
And they ask him all just the shite same questions every week. No wonder he looks bored. And no one ever challenges him. No one ever walks in and goes, imagine genuinely, press conference this week, Thursday probably, I imagine, because it's a long sit down. There he goes. Right, Marco, what are your thoughts on people calling Richarlison a diver, especially after what happened on Sunday? What are your thoughts about that? Because we've seen Sun dive and then obviously things that happen for. What are your thoughts on that? And I would absolutely love to hear someone ask that question.
Yeah.
Because the only way you're going to get a good answer is someone gives them a good question, aren't you?
But I'd love him to go. I'd love him to show a bit. I mean, J-Max saying it, just joking about Martinez laughing, but he said Marco Silva didn't have a problem bollocking the officials at Newcastle last season. He did kick off at Newcastle. He absolutely kicked off. And then what? He got a fine or whatever. Well, so what? So what? Fucking hell, we'll have a bucket for him
whip round
in the bleeding streets and Speedo Mick will do it if he bollocks. But show something. Show that you're doing it.
But that's the thing, though, innit? If someone asks a good question, you'll probably get a good answer. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe no one asks some good questions. Maybe when they all turn up from the Echo and all that, they're too busy getting the free cup of coffee and the donut, and they don't want to ask them a difficult question, or they don't even ask them questions at all. This is the problem. This is the problem. And then you get this crap, and this is the stuff that winds me up. It really does. No one's willing to ask a difficult question. You know, we got the opportunity to speak to Seamus Coleman, and we asked him whether he watched Game of Thrones, because that's what the people wanted. That's what they wanted. It was the most important thing at the time.
I did ask him when we spoke to Seamus about his form, with being out the side, and what things like that. But listen, it isn't even always about a difficult question. It's about how you ask a question. Stop asking the same shite, because he may as well just go, there's a fact sheet. Delph's out, he's fit, see you later. Because what's the point otherwise? There's no point. So, but it isn't just that. That's what I'm saying about interpreting what we want as fans and what the club needs. And it might not be the fact that whether Marco Silva's a good coach or he isn't a good coach. If he's not getting that bit and understanding what we need as a football club, our fans, listen, you can say you ignore them all you want, and that's fine, right? But a lot of our fans, that's burning our heads out, that everything's going well for them. They're winning every fucking week, pardon my French. They won the Champions League and blah, blah, blah. And we're sat over here with money to spend, and we are shite. And it's wrecking, it's cranking everything up, right? And it should and it shouldn't. There's two ways to look at it.
Do you know why I ignore it, though?
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, but someone at the club needs to recognise that. Like Machiri, and go, hang on a sec, this isn't good enough. I'm coming and I'm going to communicate, and there's no communication. Brands, Machiri, I'm not asked about Denise Barrett-Baxendale, to be honest. I've heard everything that I want to say. But Machiri and Brands, I want to hear from, and you can't see them, they scurry off.
But do you know why it doesn't bother me? Because sadly I admire them.
Well, that's fine.
No, I know, but this is the point. I admire how they've built it. I admire it, and that's the most.
Don't forget, they were in a mess. They had Ricky Lambert up front for them 4 years ago, and 4 years later, the European champions, and I've got an excellent chance of winning the Premier League. So I can't say it.
No, but I admire the way they've done it, and that's what hurts more. Is I admire the way they've done it.
Fine.
They've done it in a way where they do all of the manager and you know, and
do you know what he's done? Do you know why we should admire them? In a way, because they've done it in a way that we could do it.
Yeah.
Money wise, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
what they've spent, we could spend. We've got that financial power now that we didn't have.
Well, yeah, but
right, but they've also done it by being clever, and yet we haven't. They got the best manager available, who they knew would make a difference, and they went and got him.
They also, I mean, it's when people go, like Liverpool haven't spent, Liverpool fans go, we haven't spent anyone, then they'll go, oh, look at what you spent. But don't forget, they spent nothing in the summer because they'd spent all their money the summer before.
Yeah.
But he knew, buying quality, like the best he could, the best goalkeeper, the best centre-back, and the best centre, basically almost the spine of a team he bought, didn't he? Because he knew.
Yeah.
He knew what he wanted and he went out and bought the best. And he didn't arse around with anyone else. He got what he wanted. And then this summer he didn't buy anyone. And it's just rolling on. City have done that themselves. They buy one summer, get the team the way they want it, and then just let things tick over and don't do too much. And we just persist with shite.
We haven't got the basis though.
No, I know, but that's because they'd already built the basis.
Yeah, we need the base of and maybe if Gabama wouldn't have been injured and it might have played out a bit differently for the manager. But
right, let me just go through some of these comments.
Go on.
Bill Cummings says, "Baz, your hair is getting darker." That's correct. David
isn't though. It needs, to be honest, it needs some
needs a bit of a go.
JFM on. Go ahead.
David Collins says, Silva won't do anything. He knows he's on borrowed time. Let's be honest, he's never connected with the club apart from the bank details. I agree. Teddy Sass says, are you surprised though, lads? We're stuck in the dark ages when it comes to dealing with the press. We've got no friends, we don't play the game, and that's why we're an easy target. Correct?
Probably right.
Derek Houghton says, I don't know when our support changed. I remember the Wimbledon game we needed to win. No parking, people in the trees, not one fan was negative. We stood and backed that team, our club, the whole season. When did that feeling go? I'm 60, I go to the seat, and for 90 minutes I fully support the 11 on the pitch. I listen to 40, 50-year-olds sit there and all they do is whinge and pass that on to their sons and daughters. I now listen to the kids all match moan about players and have no clue about our songs and traditions. I learned about our club from people who worship the team. Maybe that's the thing though. Maybe that's the thing, Derek, is that this is the first time, and I'm not excusing any of those people, but this is the first time ever in our history where one generation hasn't had success and passed it to the next generation.
Of any
this
type.
Is what would you call a generation? 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
So this is
the longest we've ever gone.
This is almost three. It's 3 generations haven't seen us win a league title, and nearly 3 generations have not seen us win a trophy. 2.5 generations.
The longest we've ever gone.
It's the longest we've ever been in our history without a trophy.
Anything.
So therefore, there's no one to pass it on, and it's like that old thing of like when you see kids who are like.
You've got to
terrible.
You've got to re-educate the fan base. We were talking about Leicester on the Premier League show, and saying that their fan base are all together because 3 years ago they were league champions, so they know what. Even though it's Leicester City, they're probably more calmer than them, because they've got that experience of going through a season. We haven't got it for anything. But it's all rubbish.
Steve Donahue says, don't you think that refs will take notice of what's said? You bet they will. That's the point. No matter what he does, they won't give him benefit of the doubt and he will get booked. You can bet your life on it. Of course he will.
But he has to highlight it, doesn't he? He has to. It's Silva's job now to go, right, someone needs to ask me about this on Thursday in my press conference, and I'm going to attack VAR and the referees over this, so that if there's an incident on Saturday, people are looking at it both ways. If they just leave it and go, let's not say anything and see what happens, Everton haven't got 0 chance of getting a penalty at the weekend. We haven't anyway. But there you go.
David Collins says, if Everton were a Krabby Patty, would SpongeBob or Squidward throw it away? I mean, that's a deep one.
That is deep. I think Dingy Plankton would make us. That's how bad we are.
Bill Cummins says, do you think we need to get another midfielder in January, considering we have Gomez, Gabama and Bernard out?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Gabama and Bernard will be back by then.
Bernard's allegedly someone said he might be back at the end of this month or early December. So, but yeah, we probably do need another centre. Yeah, we probably do need another centre mid. Stop it. We probably do.
And he also says all our thoughts are with Gomez, gut for him, big blow for us. Paul Gold says the whole club lack balls, simple fans included.
True.
And he said, well said, boys, about us being soft shite. Let's get fucking tasty.
Come on,
my spider senses.
Let's have a Pilsner, baby. I want friggin' Silva to walk in Thursday, sit down and go, lads, you've had a grueler this week. And just
Teddy Sass,
hammer the VAR.
Just got in, son's red card overturned, laughing emoji face. Honestly, it's bleak, isn't it?
It's rigged, Teddy.
Do you think we should take more responsibility, supporters, for Everton getting away with the mess we're in? The RS wouldn't have it, mate. Remember when Hicks and Gillette started threatening their stability? They literally got hounded and driven out, led by the supporters. Are we too passive and accepting of it? I think we are, which is evident with us sticking with the manager now as an example.
I don't really think we need to be carrying banners around and all that at the moment. I don't think we're at that level. But we do need to start asking questions, and we need... I don't know how you do it, to be honest. I mean, we can do it, but I think fans, a bigger fan base needs to do it. I mean, other entities, I don't know how you do it. Maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Ralph says, before we get a new manager, don't you think we should get a new CEO before anything at the club is going to change? I agree. Kane says, Everton fans saying they don't mind the Sun red card being overturned because it wasn't a red card. Give up. Gary Ward says, F Sun. Owen Park says, the reason Richarlison gets no decisions is because we have all allowed it to be the norm. Same was said about Zaha, but Roy and Zaha had none of it. They got 46 penalties a week. That's quite close to actually...
Spot on, Owen. Spot on.
Dave Wild says we should change our nickname from the Toffees to the yellow, to the Jelly Babies. Totally spineless from top to bottom.
Yeah.
What else? Sorry, I'm reading backwards. I'm reading up, so I don't know if I've already read some of them. Paul says, so the corrupt FA overturned Sun red card. Well done, you have just opened the doors to malicious tackles from behind, which, by the way, their own rules ban tackles from behind. So to the players, just chuck a tackle in, snap someone's leg and cry like a TW.
Yeah.
You will get away with it. Owen Park says, that's why I don't think we'll get Benitez and Mourinho, because they called bored out. Yeah.
Like the last two here before we go, Cumbrian Trophy says, do you think there's been a massive failure within the youth setup? Potentially Gibson and Bowler could leave for nothing despite us paying 10 million in fees bringing them here. Well, Bowler's got a £5 million buyout, which Hull have agreed, so there'd be 5 million, and Gibson can't leave for nothing because Everton only have to offer him a contract and then the club has to pay it. But even so, even if we got more money back on them, it's not exactly good business, is it? You know, so that's... Listen... I don't know, Mark, is the real answer, because I don't know whether truly any of them are that good. But that's not good in itself, is it, if we're not bringing anybody through into the team? Anthony Gordon will be the next one, but Bowler's older than him, and so's Gibson. And Steve Kelly says, we're a joke of a football club from top to bottom. We are the only club who could employ a charity worker to become CEO. That says it all to me. F off, Everton. Strong words. It's been far more heated than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
but
5 o'clock.
It was the Sun thing. The Sun red card has just fired us up, and obviously you were wound up over the Paul Joyce thing. So it's just another bollocks day. But you know what? We'll be here tomorrow.
You know what I love? Genuinely, just to wrap it up, I just love the fact that this all started with one of our players getting his ankle broke by a fella who dived in the same day, and yet that player has somehow, by Tuesday, come away like Daz has been giving him a wash, whiter than white. No one's picked up the fact that he dived, and he's got away with...
I think should have been giving him a wash then, I was thinking.
No, Daz.
Where's this coming from?
Daz,
I was thinking.
Doorstep challenge.
Do I wash people dead white? What's going on?
Well,
are you saying like my shirt?
Your lad is very, very white.
Well, he is.
Maybe you washed your hair too long.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I had to go full JFM.
Yeah, I just can't believe the narrative has swung from so much. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Simon, I'm just looking at Twitter. Sorry, Simon Gibbs. Well, I don't know whether he follows me or not, but just says goal disallowed by VAR in the Zenit Leipzig game. The ref went over to the monitor. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Right, thank you for joining.
That's a surprise.
This was a decent show, wasn't
And
it?
Steve said Paul Tierney's the ref at the weekend. Paul Tierney, who disallowed Yerry Mina's header the other week as it was hitting the net. FA just keep dealing it out. You see, this is another, before we go, this is another thing Silva could do. He could sit in that press conference on Thursday and say, oh, and by the way, I'm going to ask Paul Tierney at the weekend why he disallowed Yerry Mina's goal in the West Ham game, see if he's got an answer for me, and make a laugh of it. Because it immediately heaps pressure onto the referee, which is exactly what Everton should be doing, and we don't. We try to take it off them by going, we respect them. Oh, VAR. I wouldn't. I'd be
Did they
going.
say it like that?
Exactly like that. I'd just be saying, I don't respect any referee, because they're shite, a lot of them.
There you go.
Humphrey.
You earn respect.
You do earn respect, and they haven't earned any of it.
There you go. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.